All right, today we're going to be going over what a Heiken Ashi Tick Chart is, and we're going to compare it to what a 5-minute chart and where the difference is. So, Heiken Ashi means uh, average bar in Japanese, and is primarily used to make candlestick charts more readable and trends easier to understand. It can help traders to know when to stay in trades and when to get out. It can actually show possible trend changes, and it's really hard to see right here, so I'm going to blow it up and let you see it a little bit better. But if you look at the 5-minute chart here, you can see there's a lot of indecision here, followed up by some possible runs up, and then more indecision, a lot of more indecision, pretty much all indecision with like maybe 10% run ups, and this is kind of small, and I can expand it like this, and so that might help a little bit, but I mean, I don't know, probably not much. Um, so if I drag this over like this, bring it over like that, there, maybe that'll help. Still a lot of indecision there. And so I, right off the bat, you can already see that there's a lot more information to take in on the Heiken Ashi tick chart. And so what is a tick chart? A, a tick chart, where it differs from a minute chart, is that a tick chart is made based on the amount of orders that come in and the price action that is captured with inside those orders. And so that's what builds the candle. And so it means that it's taking in 610 orders before it forms one candle. And so I'm going to blow this up, and so you can take a look at it and see where it differs. And I'm going to make this bigger like this. And I'm going to kind of put it right there. And keep in mind that these are the exact same times that they're starting in. And so slightly over right there. So very much different in the way that they look. And I can make this a little bit bigger here, I guess. And so in these movements here on the 5-minute chart, they're very chunky and indecision. And so you got these big candles that run. And so by the time you realize that there's a trade there, your run's over. And right here, your run's over. I mean, you got that little bit there, a couple points. But I mean, it's kind of hard to see where you should get in, where you should get out. Now you can draw channels, and when it breaks the channel, you can get in there. If you're aggressive, you can get in before it closes. But if you're waiting for one to close, then I mean, just putting you down here in this area, you know. And so in the same area here, it's quite obvious where the trend changes. There's a long indecision right there, and then you got this green candle, and it's been 3 reds there, maybe that one little green there. So maybe you want to wait for another one. So you got that one there. And so at that point, you get in, and you can actually, I mean, it's probably only a couple points as well, uh, going up, but at least you can see that there is a up there before it's over. Because I mean, that's 2 more points than what you would have got up here, because it's all of a sudden there's just this large green candle, and then at the top of it, the trend's done, and it's already changed directions again. And so um, I want to cover like a little bit about what what forms these candles. It's a little bit different from your normal open, high, low, close candles, which are usually set by like a series of time periods. So on a 5-minute chart, if you look at this, it's bigger. There you go. This is a 5-minute chart, and so every candle on a 5-minute chart is 5 minutes long. And so all the orders that come in during that 5-minute period are recorded into this candle. On a red candle, it opens down here and it closes up here. And then any price action that moves beyond these points from the start and the finish, if it retraces back after it moves down, leaves this wick behind it. And same up here, if it moves past this, the point of up here where it closed, and then it moves down before it closes, once it does, it leaves the body at the lower point, but leaves a wick at the top. And then on a red candle, the next candle is formed to the right of the bottom where it stops. Sorry about that. And so this candle started right at the bottom of this candle to the right. And then, during its time, it went up and down and it ended up stopping at the exact same place. And then it shifts over, starts the next candle. And on a green candle, at the end of the time period, wherever the high or the low is of that candle, wherever it stops, is determines what color that candle is. So if it was green up here and then it shrinks back down beyond the point where it started down here, then it would turn red and be red down here, and it would just leave a long wick up here. And so on the green candle, once it closes, it just moves over to the right, and that candle started from that point. And if it's red, then it goes down. If it's green, it moves up. That's it. And so where this becomes important is that when you're looking at price action and you see a candle that breaks the high of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 candles, then that's a pretty significant candle. And I would jump all over this candle because the single importance of this one candle is that it broke the high of the last 45 minutes of price action, because each one of these candles is 5 minutes long. And so that's pretty significant. 45 minutes of price action staying below a certain area and then all of a sudden being broke by one candle. I mean, if that doesn't mean it's going up, I don't know what does. So that would be a good entry point. And that's why minute charts are valuable for that reason right there alone. I mean, several others, but I mean, to me, that's the most important. And so now, if we look at a Heiken Ashi chart, you can see instantly that the price action looks a lot different. The trends are easier to see. All the color, as it's going down, it's all red. You got that one green right there. And then as it goes up, it's all green. And so there's a couple things you want to notice on a Heiken Ashi chart that differentiate it from all the other ones, but also makes it easier to spot out trends and reverses or changes in trend. And so the first thing that you want to notice is that on a downtrend, any candles that aren't showing like wicks on the upside, which is the opposite side of the direction it's going, shows that it's a very strong downtrend. And then same with the green. Any green candles on an uptrend that are showing no wicks on the bottom of that movement is a good indicator that it's showing that it's a strong uptrend. And so you should be concerned with that movement there. Now, the the other thing that you look for is any wicks on the opposite side of that trend. So if it's a downtrend, wicks on the top means that there's a possible change in trend coming. And so you might want to just be alert and ready to take profits, if you're going short here. And so you really don't get too many of them. And you get these long wicks like this. That's just a precursor. That green one there, followed up by this, is just a precursor saying that there's a trend change coming here soon. And so you get down here and you start noticing these wicks at the bottom, and they start to get longer as you go down. And so that's another thing that you can notice that on the Heiken Ashi charts is that at the top of the trend, the candles are a lot longer and the wicks are a lot smaller. And then at the bottom of the trend, the candles bodies are a lot smaller and the wicks get longer. And so when this happens and your bodies are getting smaller and the wicks are getting longer, it's saying that the trend change is coming pretty soon, and you might want to go ahead and start taking your profits and get out. And so same thing on the uptrend is, get the longer bodies at the start of the trend, and you got smaller wicks, and then the wicks get longer as you go up, and the bodies get smaller. And so again, you just want to start looking at finding a place to get out. The telltale on most trend moves is typically a indecision candle of the opposite color sitting at the top of the trend. That is usually like a very good like indicator of like, okay, if you haven't already taken the hint that this is about to change, this guy right here should definitely put it into that for you. And you should definitely be out by then. And you'll see him at the tops of every uh, trend change. It's pretty easy to spot. And so now the um, the last thing that you want to pay attention to is when you looking at these candles, you'll notice that they're all starting in the middle of the previous candle. And that's because of the formula that it uses. And basically, it's just taking the average price of the current bar and the midpoint of the previous bar, and then they're taking the max high and then the lowest low of those, and then it's putting it into a formula that's saying high open close for the high or the max, and then low open close for the low, which all that just means is that it's starting in the middle of this candle and it's going down until a candle breaks the average of those bars right there. It'll stay red no matter what. Now, an easier way to look at that is just to draw a line on the top right corner of your red candles going down, and where a candle breaks that line is going to be a different color candle. Simple as that. Now, same thing with the reds. You know, if you got a green candle, oh, I'm sorry, with the what is this? Same thing with your uptrends. If you got a red candle that breaks the the corners if you draw a line and corners of these candles going up like this. Let me see. Ah, that. And like that, then it's going to paint that candle red. And so you just draw a line touching the bottom right corner of your green candles. And then anything that goes past that and closes is going to be red. I mean, it doesn't have to close. If it puts a wick out there, it's most likely going to be red. And so those are the easiest ways to kind of spot that. And so some of the things that you'll notice, and I've already did the measurements on this, but there's a lot more price action to be seen on this in this time frame here, and a lot easier to see these trend changes. But from the time that this started to the time it closed on both charts, I measured where I thought I would get in and take my profits. And on the 5-minute chart, I found 53.75 points. But on the Heiken Ashi charts, I found 95.75 points. So almost double on that. And so that's where I'd like to leave this is, definitely check them out and let me know if you got any questions, and happy trading.